The upscale Italian restaurant, La Bella Vita, glowed under soft chandelier light in San Diego's Harbor Point district, a place where naval officers and their spouses dined to flaunt their status. It was a crisp October evening in 2024 when Emily Carter walked in, her faded denim jacket brushing the polished oak floor. Her oversized sweater and slightly crooked glasses made her look like a librarian who'd wandered into the wrong zip code. She didn't glance around, didn't seek approval, just made a beeline for a small table by the window overlooking the dark waves of the Pacific. The hostess, a woman with a forced smile named Lauren, raised an eyebrow but escorted her without comment. Emily sat, her movements quiet, like she was used to fading into the background. The waiter, a guy named Ethan with a cocky grin and gelled hair, swaggered over. "Just you?" he asked, his tone implying she was an inconvenience. Emily nodded, her eyes on the menu. "Fettuccine Alfredo, water," she said, her voice soft but firm, leaving no room for debate. Ethan scribbled it down, muttering to a busboy, "No reservation, and she still wants the ocean view." The busboy smirked, eyeing Emily like she was a curiosity. At the next table, a woman in a sleek black dress, her nails painted crimson, leaned toward her date, a man with a gold watch gleaming. "Who eats alone at a place like this?" she whispered, loud enough to carry. Her date chuckled. "Bet she's here for some viral post." Sad girl aesthetic. A couple nearby, their plates loaded with truffle risotto, joined in. "She's probably a wannabe influencer," the woman said, her diamond earrings glinting. "This isn't a dive bar." Laughter rippled, but Emily didn't flinch. She adjusted her glasses and turned the menu page, their words sliding off her like rain. The manager, a man named Victor with a too-tight tie, caught the buzz and strode over. "Can you afford this?" he asked, arms crossed, his voice drawing stares. Emily didn't look up. She pointed at her order. "This. Water." Her tone was calm but heavy, like a door clicking shut. Victor hesitated, then walked off, muttering about standards. The woman in the black dress, now identified as Sophia, laughed louder. "She's probably tweeting this. Solo diner vibes." Her date, James, snapped a photo of Emily's back, smirking. The mockery spread. A group of young naval officers at a nearby table started whispering. "Bet she's an intern who got lost," one said, mimicking her posture with a fake pout. The table erupted, their laughter sharp. Emily's fingers tightened on her napkin, but she stayed still, folding it precisely, anchoring herself. Then, the door swung open, and 6 Navy SEALs walked in, their presence commanding the room. Broad shoulders, sharp eyes, civilian clothes that couldn't hide their training. The hostess scrambled to seat them near Emily. Their leader, a man named Lucas with a faint scar on his cheek, paused as he sat, his gaze locking on Emily for a split second. He gave a quick nod, then looked away, like he was piecing something together. One of the younger SEALs, Ryan, leaned over. "You know her, boss?" Lucas shook his head. "Maybe. Not sure." His fingers drummed the table, restless. The restaurant hummed clinking glasses, murmured deals, and cutting remarks. Emily ate slowly, her fork steady, her eyes on the ocean. Then, one of the SEALs, a guy named Matt with a tattooed forearm, coughed violently. His face reddened, hands clutching his throat. Before anyone could move, he collapsed, convulsing on the floor. Chaos erupted, screams, chairs scraping, people leaping up. Sophia shrieked, clutching James, who was already filming. Lucas yelled, "Get a doctor." But Emily was already there, her plate shoved aside, kneeling beside Matt. "Level 4 neurological," she said, her voice cutting through the panic. "Possible neurotoxin or airway block." She started CPR, her hands precise, counting under her breath like it was instinct. A woman in a navy blazer, a contractor named Diane, pushed through. "Who was she to touch him?" she snapped, glaring at Victor. "You let randos play doctor?" The crowd murmured, some nodding, others craning to see. Emily didn't pause, her rhythm unbroken. Diane's voice rose. "He's a SEAL, not some experiment." A man nearby chimed in. "Where's her license?" Emily pushed her glasses up with her wrist, her focus a wall against their noise. Another SEAL, a burly guy named Chris, grabbed her arm. "What are you doing?" he growled. Emily's eyes didn't leave Matt. "Move," Or he's dead in 90 seconds, she said, her voice like steel. Chris released her, stunned. Victor shouted, "She's not a doctor. Call 911. Sophia, still filming, screamed, "She poisoned him." The crowd buzzed, suspicion growing. Emily's jaw tightened, but her hands kept moving. She checked Matt's airway, her eyes landing on a butter knife. She grabbed it, the blade flashing, and made a clean incision at his throat, a perfect emergency tracheotomy. Matt's chest heaved, a ragged breath escaping. The room fell silent, the only sound his faint breathing and distant sirens. As paramedics rushed in, a man in a tailored suit, his cufflinks gleaming, stepped forward. "She's not qualified," he barked. "This is a lawsuit waiting to happen." The paramedics ignored him, stabilizing Matt. Emily stood, wiping blood on her jeans, her sweater stained. She stepped back, her hands clenched, as they wheeled Matt out. The crowd stared, some in awe, others skeptical. Sophia muttered, "She staged it for clout." James whispered, "Could be a plant. Don't buy it." A retired admiral, his chest heavy with medals, stood. "Where'd you train?" he demanded. Emily met his gaze. "Camp Delta 9, 10 years back." She returned to her table, picked up her fork, and sat, the room still reeling. Lucas kept staring, pulling out his wallet. Inside was a faded photo of a special ops unit in a desert, a young woman at the center. "Emily. Mosul, 2014, he said, his voice low. Emily nodded, the faintest smile flickering. The SEALs stood as one, saluting her in the middle of La Bella Vita. The restaurant froze, forks paused, glasses forgotten. A waiter whispered, "Why are they saluting her?" Another shrugged, "Maybe she's someone." Emily finished her meal, paid in cash, and stood to leave. As she reached the door, Lucas called out, "She's no ordinary nurse. She saved my life in Mosul." A drunk man in a polo shirt jeered, "Where's your medal, hero?" His table laughed. Emily turned, her eyes piercing. "Luck doesn't save lives," she said, then stepped into the night. By morning, the story exploded online. James's video went viral, his plant, comment backfiring, his firm lost a major contract. Sophia's agency fired her after her remarks trended. Ethan was let go, Victor citing conduct. La Bella Vita emptied out, the shame too heavy. Emily, meanwhile, was at home, ironing her sweater, ignoring the buzz. At the hospital, Matt woke, telling his wife, she knew every move. He wrote to the Navy, demanding Emily's commendation. Days later, a letter arrived at her modest apartment, an invitation to advise SEAL Team 6. She read it, tucked it away, and sipped her coffee, the ocean in view. At Navy HQ, the SEALs stood again as she entered, her badge reading, Emily Carter, Strategic Medical Advisor. A young ensign approached, his voice low. "I was there. I should have spoken up. You were unreal." Emily smiled faintly. "You're speaking now." The story spread. Emily, the combat medic who saved a SEAL with a butter knife. At a dive bar, sailors toasted her, one saying, "I heard of a medic in Mosul, like a ghost." That's her. La Bella Vita closed months later, its tables empty. Emily kept moving, her quiet strength louder than their scorn. What would you have done in that room? Spoken up or stayed silent? Was Emily a hero or just lucky? Drop a comment, hit like, and subscribe to keep these stories alive.